Hello friends, welcome to Combrella live streaming. Today on the topic Finance Budget 2023 Expectations of a Common Man. Okay, and thank you to everyone who has joined here and will be joining here. First of all, very happy Republic Day to everyone, to all my fellow Indians. Okay, so the topic of today's live stream is what the common man can expect from this finance budget 2023 in terms of tax reliefs, for the common man. So that is going to be the topic, and I'll keep it very short. It will be a short 10 to 15 minutes of live stream, and I will share my thoughts. What is the expectation which I have from the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharam, and in the then you also can share your thoughts, your recommendations, your point of view in the chat section, and any other questions whatever you have, we can take those also. Okay, so the first point which I would like to have is, in case of tax relief for common citizens, is that increase in section 80C limit, from current 1.5 lakhs, it should be increased to at least 2 lakhs now in this finance budget. Because friends, the last time the increase of ATC threshold from 1 lakh to 1.5 lakhs was done in 2014 by Shri Arun Jaitley. Okay, 2014 finance budget. So now, even if you take, it has been 9 years. So 14, 15 year ending was the first, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 9 financial years, we are still in 1.5 lakhs of ATC threshold. 9 years inflation has really taken up, right? Inflation has really increased, even if it's a 7 or 8% annually, but 1.5 lakhs has not increased. So this year ATC should be at least 2 lakhs to, or upwards of 2 lakhs should be the, one important amendment is required in section ATC. That is the first thing. Second thing which I would like to also have is, again, for salaried class common citizens, is that this can be one thing. Or apart from that, this is an important thing. There are other various methods also in which you can tweak tax saving for a salary class. The second one can be either you can increase standard deduction, which is currently only 50,000. Before, we used to have medical allowance, travel allowance. Now that was removed, I think somewhere 2017-18, and 50,000 standard deduction was given. So I would say increase standard deduction to 50,000, from 50,000 to 1 lakh. But again, instead of this, I would prefer ATC, because it makes you invest more, it makes you save more, it makes it makes the economy grow because of the investments you make, right? If it is 2 lakhs, you'll make, a lot of people make only 1,50,000 like me. But if it is 2 lakhs, you'll make more investments. So, but whereas in standard deduction, if it is 50,000 to 1 lakh, I won't make any extra investment. So that is, I would say, in favor of ATC. And or it can be 80D. A lot of people are also recommending for 80D, medical health insurance, right? Medical health, 80D currently it is 50,000, 75 and 1 lakh for various categories. That is, if you and your parents are not senior citizen, it is 50,000 totally. If you are normal citizen, parents are senior citizen, it is 75,000. If both of you and your parents are senior citizen, it is 1 lakh. Generally people have 75,000, right? Or 50,000 is the mostly widely category used by the people. So, or this can be also be increased, from 80D perspective, because of COVID, a lot of medical expenditure has increased. Premiums of a lot of insurance, health premiums have also increased. So I think 80D can also be a important section which can be expected for amendment in this current finance budget. From 50,000 levels, it can be increased to 75,000, and 1 lakh 75 can be made to 1 lakh. 1 lakh can be made upwards of 1,25,000. So that is another thing for common man which can be expected. Then another important which I would kind of expect for a common man is the increasing of 30% tax slab rate, right? Currently now, if your total income, that is after gross income less all your deductions from all the sections, if it is more than 10 lakhs, you're taxed at 30%, friends. But I would believe if it would be better if the tax, 30% tax slab starts from 12 lakhs onwards, right? 12 lakhs onwards. I think that would be better, because 12 lakhs, I would say, is kind of a normal for 30% tax slab. But 10 lakhs, it's kind of a little bit pinching. It hurts your wallet, 30% if it starts from 10 lakhs. even though it is a total income, net income after all the deductions. So I would maybe 12 lakhs can be made for 30% tax slab rate. So that would be one recommendation for the common man or salaried class citizens, right, friends? So, and a lot of people were also, kind of, I was reading a lot of articles and newspapers and going through the internet. A lot of people are expecting the basic exemption limit to be increased from current levels of 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs. 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, but I don't think that is much required because currently up to 5 lakhs of your total income is 5 lakhs or less than 5 lakhs, you have to pay nil tax because of Section 87A rebate, right? So currently up to 5 lakhs, you don't have to pay any tax. So increasing the basic exemption limit from 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs will not make any additional advantage, okay? So that is not going to be any useful or any value added in terms of an amendment. So that can't, no need to expect that. So that is the one thing. Now coming to certain, other expectations, which I would say investors in stock market, which I am an investor in stock market. A lot of other people are also there in the stock market, and especially they have increased in the last, you know, uh, 2 to 3 years after 2020, right? The corona, a lot of people have investing in stock market. So for them, what can be the tax measures? First of all, I would tell is the TDS on dividend, friends, right? This was introduced again in 2019 or 2020, I think, yes, in those 2 years, somewhere around that. 10% TDS on dividend tax is directed at source at 10% on the dividends if your annual dividend from one particular company is more than 5,000, right? So I think this is not, I would say investor friendly, right? Or investor friendly, yes, because 5,000 is very small amount of dividend, friends. If you invest a decent amount of money in a stock market, right? If any one company, if you have invested 1 lakh or 1 to 1 lakhs plus in any company, 5,000 you can get it easily as dividends. On that, if you tax at 10%, I think is not fair for the investors. So I would say maybe increase the 5,000 to 10,000, the threshold limit, and make it 10%, or you keep the threshold limit as 5,000 and make the tax TDS rate at 1%. This is, I can understand the government's point of view also, because it wants to track, it wants to avoid why TDS is there, because the government can track based on the data provided by the companies to the CBDT, income tax department, that these are the people who have got the dividend, and if you don't show your income tax returns, the IT department will send you a notice for not reflecting your dividend income. So that TDS section is important, but I think 10% is a kind of way too much higher percentage for a 5,000 rupees threshold. So it can be made 1% at 5,000, or you can make it to 10,000, by making it 1 or 2 percentage. So that would be one thing which I would kind of expect for investors, stock market investors. Second thing for stock market investors is, friend, is that long-term capital gains tax on sale of listed equity shares and mutual funds, friends. Right? Currently, it is 10%, but you have exemption of 1 lakh rupees. So any long-term capital gains on sale of listed equity shares or mutual funds in excess of 1 lakh per year attracts a 10% capital gains tax long term. I think this is not so investor friendly, because, and this was also introduced somewhere in 2019, if I'm not wrong. And I think this is not so investor friendly, because 1 lakh, if you have invested in some good stocks, if you're a long term investor, right, 5 to 6 years, if you have been in the stock market, or even more than that, say 10 years, easily your gains can go 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and everything more than 1 lakh, except keeping 1 lakh as exemption balance out of 10 lakhs. If you say your gains are for 10 years, if you have invested 10 lakhs, you sold also as profit, 1 lakh if you reduce, on 9 lakhs if you pay 10%, I think it's not so fair on the investors who have waited for 10 years. I think so that has to be removed. My suggestion would be, up to 3 years, you keep it up, you keep 10 percentage and give exemption of 1 lakh LTCG. Up to 3 years, keep it 1 lakh exemption, give 1 lakh. But beyond 3 years, those who have LTCG after 3 years, I think the 1 lakh exemption should be removed, friends, should be removed. For it should, and this will only promote stock market investors for long term. This will avoid speculation, trading, right, and lot of buying, selling, intraday, and all those things. Speculation will be avoided when you promote long term investing. So I think more than 3 years, you should not have a tax rate on long term capital gains, right? whether it is 1 crore or 1 lakh, you should not be there. Then only will promote long-term investment, and that is what our equity markets will become mature. It will become strong. It will become resilient, and will not go for short-term volatile fluctuations in the stock market. Right. That is what my recommendation would be to finance minister. And so that is the one thing. And also you have a lot of rationalization of capital gains tax needs to be done in terms of stock markets, friends. If you right now, if you see, friends, there are a lot of, if it is listed shares or mutual funds, 10% LTCG with 1 lakh exemption, and short-term capital gains 15%. Okay, in listed shares, equity mutual funds holding period is taken as 12 months, 1 year. But if it is debt mutual funds, right, friends, then it is 20%. LTCG becomes 20% with indexation, and 10% without indexation. And similarly, if it is unlisted shares, the indexation, the holding period becomes 2 years, somewhere like that. So there are so many, tax slab rates in case of listed shares, unlisted shares, debt mutual funds, equity mutual funds. Tax rate, holding period differs from every type of asset class. Tax percentage differs for every other asset class, right? So I think the rationalization of capital gains, short term and long term, has to be rationalized. The holding period, first of all, has to be rationalized across all the asset classes, whether it is private, whether it is unlisted shares, listed shares, equity or debt, right? Mutual funds, or whether it is shares, mutual funds or shares, debt or equity. And the tax percentage has to be rationalized. If you want to keep STCG as 15%, keep it across all. LTCG 10%, keep it across all, right? So that rationalization is very, very important, is what I would kind of recommend, is my expectation from the finance budget. And also, friends, one important, as on a macroeconomic level, I think India needs to grow. Indian economy needs to grow at 10 percentage. The GDP growth rate has to be at 10 percentage. I know there are a lot of challenges. World economy, facing through a tough challenge, but India is a bright spot. And during this time, if somewhere we can just hold on to the ground, not just hold on to the ground, but also achieve, friends, kind of a 10% GDP growth rate, maybe not just FY 23-24, but maybe create right ecosystem, PLI, government capex, infrastructure, policies favorable for startups, new sunrise sectors, all those things, employment opportunity, everything is if we fire from all cylinders, then 10% growth rate, 23, 24 onwards, we should aim towards that, and then only India can become a developed nation, Amrit Kal, by 2047, friends. So that is one hope, as macroeconomic indicator from a common citizen of India. So these are, from my thoughts and expectations of me, a common man, on the finance budget 2023. Do let me know your thoughts and your points in the comment section. It'll be really interesting. And thank you for watching, friends. Joining in and tuning into the live stream. If there are any questions, we can take, or else we can then uh, say thank you and good night for the day. Okay, friends, I think it's thank you for everyone. So it was a good live stream, and we hope to have a, we'll have another live stream after the budget is announced, to discuss about how the budget has turned up. So after 1st February, maybe on 2nd or 3rd February, we'll make a summary and see what are the important points, takeaways from the finance budget. Thank you for watching, and see you all. Good night. This is C.S. Karthik signing off. Thank you and namaste.